Hello, everyone, and hope you all are doing great. And you're watching Teen Talks presented to you by Women TV India. And I'm your host for today. My name is Varuni Sharma. And with me, I have Nisha Garg, who is an IELTS coach and educator. And Madhav is also going to join us shortly. And today, we're going to be talking about mental health. So, before diving into the topic about mental health, I'm sure many people are very sensitive towards this topic. And I want to tell that mental health is a state of well being in which the individual realizes his or own abilities and can cope with normal life stress, like your daily life stress, and work productively and fruitfully and make contribution to his or own community. So, if you don't fall into this category, you probably need to probably have a conversation with a therapist or a psychiatrist. Oh yeah. So I want to ask that what do you think is there is a stigma in a society, that if someone is consulting a psychiatrist, if someone is consulting a clinical psychologist, there might be something,
Might, yeah.
and people usually don't want to share this thing that what I'm consulting a psychiatrist. They want to hide it. They just don't want to tell people. Why do you think that this stigma in context with mental health, I think, which is a great deal. Mental health is a great deal, and many people have given recognition to mental health. Why do you think people still hide this thing? And what's the stigma?
I believe standing out from a crowd, whether it is positive sense or in the negative sense, is always painful. Initially, it is. So, someone who is suffering from something, especially kind of mental health issues, the people, they don't leave any chance, they don't leave any stone unturned to embarrass you, to harass you.
Mhm.
And people are not bold to take up such gestures from their surroundings, so they're likely to hide such things and privately visit to counselors so that they can cure these problems very well. But I believe that one should not harass other person. One should always understand what the other person is going through, especially the peer group, because they can understand each other's well. And
Exactly.
children, especially these days, they are very soft at heart. They are very uh, what do I say, very very extremely soft. So they don't have any tendency to tackle anything, any negative. They cannot retain it, they cannot digest any negative. Even youngsters, they also commit suicide. We read it every day in the news. The newspapers are flooded with such cases that he or she was unable to score such things, so they committed suicide. Or there was a petty remark by the one of the classmate, the other person committed suicide. So people should be bold, and people should not take other people's point of view on their mind and at their heart, and people should deal with the situations boldly.
I believe that, when you're growing up, when your mind is taking shape, you have to take
Yeah,
that thing that others' perception of you should not become your reality. And
yeah.
say what they want to say, you just do what you want to do. But certainly I see that this generation, Gen Z, the generation is affected by literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Breakups, suicide rate, and even if I believe that you might just pass a comment to them, a harsh
Yeah, the
comment.
petty remarks, they cannot handle, they cannot tolerate that.
Have you seen the evolution? Because I remember my mom used to tell my teacher that you can scold her, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
in every generation, a teacher
They
cannot even
can't.
say,
The
shut up.
parents,
This
even they
is
are
bad.
frightened to say anything to their kids. They
Yeah,
cannot say anything to their offsprings because they know that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. You don't know
yeah.
what their offsprings will perceive it. They will detach all the love and care being provided by their parents. They're gonna just remember
Mhm.
that negative remark, and it's gonna hit their psychology,
Yeah,
and you don't know what they're gonna do.
exactly.
So they are very, they cannot handle the situations.
I know, right? So, how can someone know that if they are mentally unwell? Because, in our surroundings, we see so many people who are active, who are doing their daily life chores and doing everything, but they don't know. that, I am mentally unwell. So how would you? Yeah.
There are many predominant factors. The very first is revealed in their gestures. If the other
Mhm.
person hates to smile, if the other person gets annoyed, irksome very easily, that kind of persons, it means they are going through something. They are not presently present at that particular situation. Something is running in their mind. They are out somewhere. Something has hit their psychology. So, that kind of people are unwell, mentally unwell. It is strongly revealed in their gestures. Those
Yeah.
people, they don't smile at the comedy situation, they hide their emotions, they behave very strangely. And I have seen cases that some people, they also shiver, they start shivering,
Mm-hmm.
their voice get baffled, they start stammering even. If they're going through something, if they are not unable to cooperate with the current situation, they do
Mm-hmm.
such kind of silly things, they reveal in their gestures.
Gestures and body language would be the
Some
one
people
thing.
even bite their nails if they're going through extreme tensions. So these
Mm-hmm.
are the signs that person is lost in his in her thoughts, and that should be treated instantly, spontaneously. Because once the situation is at the foundation level, we can eradicate that issue very easily. But once it reach at a particular stage, it becomes difficult to uproot it.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I want to talk about this thing that stress, like daily life stress. It's a common thing. People get stressed
Yeah.
from their work, people get stressed from their peer pressure, people get stressed from basically anything. Okay. Daily life chores give them stress.
Yeah.
How do you cope with stress?
I think I enjoy my me time. I have one of my very good friend Varuni, and I do gymming. I spend quality time with my family, with my mother especially. I discuss everything, every activity, my future plans with her, and I enjoy my bhangra classes. So these are the things which are my me time. I love to listen songs. Before sleeping, I usually listen to BK Shivani, that is a meditational sound which provides me calmness and solace to my body. So these kind of things which I do, and I suggest everyone, I would like to recommend everyone that they should find out at least one such thing which provides calmness to their mind and heart and their body, because actually it is very important to rejuvenate oneself for another day, to carry out the routine task. So for that satisfaction and relaxation, you should indulge yourself in one constructive and productive activity. It can be anything, it can be even watching TV series. I've seen my students watching TV series, but yes, excess of everything is harmful. Doing one thing all day long, that is not productive. But yes, doing one thing to provide you rejuvenation is everything. So do it. Some people indulge themselves in sports. I was table tennis player. I used to play table tennis and badminton in my school days. I was the best player of my school, and I was topper as well. Everybody used to ask me how you manage everything, how you are all rounder. So I think credit goes to my mother and the schedule which I used to make that time, that one should wake up early in the morning, because early to bed, early to rise, make a person healthy, wealthy, and wise.
And
So
life.
yeah, one should make proper plan, and definitely you'll get some leisure time for yourself, and you can spend that quality time either with your friends or family, or you can spend upon oneself. Some people, they indulge in they have a creative bent of mind, they do painting. So we all are born with some talents, you have to
Exactly.
identify that talent.
Yeah. So, coming to that, I just want to tell people, our viewers, that there are certain ways you can improve your mental health, right? You can ask for help if you think that, this thing is bothering me and I have to ask someone for help. Please don't hesitate
Yeah.
yourselves. Please don't think that what anybody is going to think of you. Just seek help, right? From the
Yeah.
right person. And just remember that, what I basically think that you have to vent on to person who doesn't vent to people. right?
Yeah, you that person
You
should be
have to
trustworthy. Yeah.
exactly, you have to choose your person. It can be your
Yeah.
diary. You can just go to God. You can just sit in front of God and say whatever you want to say, and you'll receive answers, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you want someone to give you advice on the moment, at the moment, you can always choose a person and talk to them,
There are
right?
many counselors around. There are many people who can judge you the right path
Yeah,
without judging you. You
exactly. But sometimes
yeah,
I have met people who are so scared to even, go to a psychiatrist or therapist because they have so many things piled up in their mind, piled up
that's a
in.
taboo, na. If you are visiting such places, that you are considered mad in our society, in an
No,
Indian society.
that's one thing. But there are people, certain people who just, can't go and talk to people, not even to therapists, because they think that, therapist is also gonna think of something
Judge
about
them.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what I believe that even if you find that, I have nobody to talk to, just take a diary, just take a pen, write down. It's honestly, it's only about getting things out of your heart and
out of
mind.
here.
If it's
Yeah,
out from
yes,
here, if it's
yes.
out from here, trust me, it's out from everywhere.
Everything you
Right?
have to pour out your emotions.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Secondly, I would like to say that keep yourself active. Go for
Yeah,
dance, go for exercising, do whatever you want to do. Just keep yourself active. Thirdly, do something you are good at, or you
yeah.
basically,
You have to
provides you.
identify your talent and your interest, and you
And
have to polish it.
just if not about talent, I am a person who doesn't like to read books like on my basic routine.
Yeah, you are
But I
not a bibliophile.
yeah, but I like to buy books. I'm a person who buys book, who
When
keeps in
you
my
are gifting me a book.
definitely soon. Anyways, I like to do that. I like to buy a book and I like to keep it with me because that's a hobby. But yeah, I have seen people who are like whenever they are stressed, they shop a lot. So
Yeah,
that's also anxiety disorder. That's an anxiety disorder because when you're anxious, you tend to shop a lot. You have to
yeah.
consult a psychiatrist. Big time, you have to consult a psychiatrist. Right? All right. So and
But
you have
I
to
believe, even sorry to interrupt you in between, but I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
that kind of persons are still better, that they know the solution to their
Mhm.
problem, that if they're suffering from something, they are doing shopping, they are doing
Exactly.
extravaganza of shopping, and they are enjoying that luxuriousness, rather than
Whereas
those
you're
people
not
who
hurting
are,
anyone.
yeah, who are confined oneself under the four walls of the house and crying and shedding tears and locking themselves behind those unconscious world.
Exactly, but see that there's a certain borderline. Maybe the
Yeah,
people who are maybe the people who are shopping, maybe the people who go out and eat when they know they are stressed, they exactly know that this is gonna burst my stress, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
people who are behind doors weeping and crying are because maybe they have different kind of depression. They are not at
yeah,
borderline because it varies, right? And
yeah,
I want to say that take a break. You don't have to constantly do something. You have to take a break. You have to realize that you are a human being. You're not a machine that who has to keep on working.
change
Take
is
a
the law of nature. You should bring
exactly.
changes to your life, and it will definitely give you positive change. You should
Yeah.
bring changes.
And you have to eat well. I'm not saying that you can't eat junk. I That's like one thing which probably coming from me, but you have to eat well. Exactly, you have to eat well for your mental health. I am
Especially, you
not
should not eat Maggie in the morning, early morning hours.
too late to say that. Anyways, so just remember that diet, sleep, outdoors, exercise are the key for a mental health, for
Yeah,
good
that's
mental
a key
health. I would just
influencing
say that. I would
factors
just say
in.
that.
Yeah,
I would just say
absolutely.
that. Next thing I want to say is that there are different kind of mental disorders. There is people of oftenly people just say that depression is one thing and
Yeah,
anxiety is one thing. No,
anxiety. Yeah,
you have to educate yourself and please refer to Google. Please serve Google. अब आप इतना भी Google मत करना because Google आपको इतना ज़्यादा दिखा देता है डेप्थ में कि वो हर चीज़ को बहुत बढ़ा चढ़ा के दिखाते हैं. But I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you some very common mental disorders जो हो सकते हैं. ठीक है? First mental disorder is your mood disorders, which can
yeah.
take anytime, anywhere to any person. Okay, irrespective of your genes. Okay, so which are generally depression or your bipolar disorder. Secondly, would be your anxiety disorder, in which a person might have anxiety attack or panic attack.
Attacks.
Panic
Yeah,
disorder is
yeah,
also
that's
one
common.
exactly, and panic disorder is also one disorder in which a person might get panic attacks.
Yeah.
Third, we have is personality disorder, right? Which I think is very common in
Among
Gen
youngsters, yeah.
Exactly, youth. Fourth
Yeah.
is psychotic disorder, which is schizophrenia. जैसे हम कभी किसी को बोल देते हैं कि
Schizophrenia,
हाँ,
yes.
जैसे कि
We
इसमें कभी
saw
कभी भूत आ
something, or
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए because that's a disorder and
Disorder, yes.
not
People
everyone
pre-assume the things. Yes, yes, yes.
exactly, and they take it that a person might see might be hallucinated, ठीक है,
Yeah.
and they assume कि उनको भूत दिख रहा है, उनमें भूत आता है. Please don't do that to anyone. That can be schizophrenia. Ask them to
Yeah.
consult a psychiatrist, right? And if you care so much about them, take them to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And fifth is eating disorders, which is very common worldwide. It is, yeah, binge nervosia, binge eating, and in this disorder, I would like to tell that people might gain a lot of weight or might lose a lot of weight, depending upon the binge
Their
eating
body.
habits. Exactly. And your sixth, which is also very common, is your substance abuse disorder, right? That is also very common among youngsters. Drug use, substance abuse,
Oh,
that's also very common, right?
yeah.
As I was talking about improving your mental health, I just discussed one point that, talk about your feelings, right? Be
Yeah.
vulnerable about your feelings. I would like to share this thing that in today's generation, you cannot trust anyone like really, right? You cannot trust people because, I might be telling you something, that person might go to see and
Other
then
person,
see.
yeah.
Do
And
you
every
think
person add their own spices in that.
yeah. So do you think that, in today's time, when most of the time people are looking for someone who is vulnerable to them, who won't judge them on anything, do you think that a person cannot be their own guard, cannot be their own army, and just not by going to others, a person can be there for themselves at any moment?
A human being need a shoulder to cry on. They cannot
Mm-hmm.
survive without companionship, without love and affection. They need a person, they need a mate, they need a companion to express themselves, to exchange ideas, thoughts, and opinions. And people who cannot judge other people, they can always go to their family, because family always show unconditional love, and they can never judge. They never
Exactly.
judge, never. And they always provide the best solution for the problem. So human being, they cannot be their own guard. They are very rare, I would say. 1% of people who are so strong, who have strong willpower and determination, who can resolve all their issues single-handedly. But human beings, they need a shoulder, they need a hand to move on. They need at least one encouragement, inspiration, or another words from other people, so that they can do well in their life. Companies, why the tradition of being award, incentives are given at the workplace, why these things are being originated, just to motivate people, because it sets even example for the other people, that you have to do well in your life, so that only you can get that reward, incentives, points. You will be crowned with achievement only if you perform well. So we cannot be dependent upon ourselves only. We have to look other person to resolve our issues. That was a
So
question, right? Or I
yeah.
lost the track.
Exactly, exactly. Because I have seen people who come from very different backgrounds, who come from very, I would say, not so elite backgrounds, and even if they talk to their family about certain things, anxiety disorders or panic disorder,
Hmm.
anxiety is very common in
Very
college.
common. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, not only in college, because I have seen that very common in my college. I have seen so many people
Anxiety
who
can
are
be anything. Like if day after tomorrow
exactly.
my result is on the cards, there is anxiety. Every day,
Exactly.
every moment we
Yeah.
are facing anxiety. Every
Mm-hmm.
human being is going through it. But yes, some people have a tendency to tackle it, and excess of everything is harmful, so some people are unable to tackle it.
Exactly. Because anxiety disorder is a real thing, and I've seen so many people who are anxious and they cannot go to their families, right?
Yeah.
So, I would like to tell that there are different numbers available online who are actually psychiatrists, clinically approved psychiatrists, and psychologists who are there to help you for 24/7, and they are available 24/7 to help you. So please check out those number online, and I have personally tested it just because I had to make an assignment related to them being available, and it's legit. You can actually talk to them and they'll give you solutions for everything. I remember I started a page on Instagram, and there was this guy who literally texted me that, ma'am, I'm going to suicide soon because I'm not stable because of my 12th class result. It was a pre-COVID situation, okay? And I was not so sure what to text him, what to type him, right? What to tell him at the moment. So I asked one of my teacher who is a psychiatrist, not a psychiatrist, but she's a clinical psychologist. She told me how to handle that situation. Sometimes you're stuck in so many situations where you yourself don't know how to
Yeah.
exactly
One
motivate
get
something
blackout.
or do
Yeah, it's
something.
com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it happens no matter
Yeah, it
how
happens.
elder
We
you
have
are,
to
what
seek
how much
guidance,
experience
especially
you
in
have.
such
Yeah,
cases, because we don't know how to handle such case. That's
exactly.
why there's always a master in specialization in particular field.
Exactly. Depression, people, while I was studying psychology, I have seen people only think that depression is one person just not uh, talking to them, he or she being in her own mental state,
On,
not
yeah.
talking to people. But it's not actually like that. A depressed person can also smile. A
That's
depressed
a
person
fake
is also,
smile. Yeah.
exactly, a depressed person might talk to you like how he or she used to talk, right? But they are not in their best health. I have seen people who work out but are not mentally stable. I have seen people who earn a lot but are nothing, literally nothing insights that happen. And I have seen people coming forward, so many people post COVID coming forward, talking about mental health, because this is an important topic, very
Yeah.
important topic,
Yeah.
and you have to talk about your mental health. So, okay, has Madhav joined us already?
It's trying, I think.
He's trying. Okay. So, what do you think is the best way to improve your mental health, like daily activities mein, so you have told
Daily
that you do.
activities. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One have to indulge themselves in. They can do gardening. They can watch some documentaries. They can attend some seminars, webinars. Just give yourself an exposure. Whatever the activities you are doing, shut it. Try
Mhm.
something different. It can be anything. If you possess some good skills, you can teach such skills to other person. If you are
Mhm.
good in speaking, you can be a good orator. You can join some classes. You can enroll yourself in some courses, like make I have seen my students, even
Mhm.
after achieving fetching their desired bands, they have enrolled themselves for the makeup classes, and now they are running their own salon. So you never know what your one decision can take you towards the greener path of your career. Give
Exactly.
yourself a chance. Do not put an end to your life. Give yourself one chance. Indulge yourself in any activity. It can be any activity. You can
Mhm.
drive, you can sing, you can play guitar, you can indulge
Yeah.
yourself in gardening, cooking.
Yeah.
Sometimes even I feel so stressed.
Mhm.
What I do, I start making some good things for my brother, because he's very
Mhm.
fond of eating. Though I don't possess such good culinary skills, but yes, if I feel like that I have time, I'm not a kind of person who watch series, or I don't like screens. So
Mhm.
I do cooking. Either I do cooking, I go for a walk, jogging, or for my bhangra classes. These are
Mhm.
my stress busters. You should make a note what kind of things you are inclined towards, fascinated towards, the things which make smile on your face, which bring smile on your
Mhm.
face. It can be talking with a stranger. You can even chat. The other person
Ex-
won't judge you. You can express yourself. So
Mhm.
start doing something. This is the one thing that I want to say. Just
Mhm.
start doing without thinking twice. Do
Exactly.
something.
So I have seen you were talking about family, right? Family has
Yeah.
got your back. Luckily, we
Yeah.
have got families who have got our backs, right?
Backbone. Yeah.
But I have seen so many people who talk to me about that, you know what, Varuni, I cannot go to my parents. I cannot share this thing with my friends. I cannot share this thing with anyone, like any cousin or any sibling. I cannot. I just cannot, right? Not because of the thing being big or like the issue, but
Yeah.
because
Trust
of
issues.
the, no, just because of, the atmosphere their family has created.
Atmosphere.
Yeah,
Parents.
their families have created around them in the
Yeah.
years, right? So,
Yeah.
how would you suggest someone who comes up to you, right? That,
Yeah.
I am going through this thing and I cannot share this thing with my family, but you also certainly don't understand, that I have to do this thing with that person. How would you tackle that? Because that's a big kind of issue, right?
Yeah, I think probably I would
Mhm.
try to connect one of the family member and would elaborate, will display the situation, and would suggest them to create some friendly, amicable environment at home and try to spend some quality time with their wards. And instead of minting money, money is nothing for what they are doing. The person, their future, they should spend time on them, they should invest time on
Mhm.
them. They should watch movies together, and they should play one sports activity together, whatever the activity that they can do together, so that the children can be extrovert with their parents, they can express themselves freely, and they can tackle the situation. So this is the one thing that I would do. And I would also like to tell the victim, that person, that try to build a less borderline, try to understand your parents psychology, to which era they belong, and try to understand them, try to connect with them, and then try to express yourself. Definitely they will come to some solutions. This
Yeah,
is what
because
I believe.
Yeah, because teenage, as this is teen talks, right? Teenage,
Yeah.
the age from 13 to 18. Certainly, you have many conflicts with your parents because you two belong to different generations.
Different.
They
Yeah,
might,
there's a
yeah,
generation gap.
exactly. They might not come to a solution or to a conclusion which you have, right?
Yeah.
You know what, this is very beautiful. I have seen that. I had conflicts with my parents when I was 13, 14, and I think it has grown into something very beautiful because now we both understand each other more than ever, right? And
Hmm.
I have like my parents have always created a space atmosphere around me where I know the limits, and I know at the same time that I can go and rant anything in front of them, literally anything in front of them, right? So
Yeah.
I actually request every parent, any parent who is watching this, grandparent, guardian, whoever is watching this, that please create an atmosphere around your children, around anyone, your students, your whoever, right? That anyone can come up to you, tell anything to you, and you just have to be empathetic towards them. Please don't be sympathetic. Some people don't even like sympathy, they like empathy. And
Yeah.
empathy is different from sympathy, because empathy is being in someone's shoes
Make.
and understanding their
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Right? And sympathy is just, telling that, everything would be fine. That's the
Yeah.
last thing they want to hear. That's the last thing they want to hear, that, everything is going to be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, I would like to ask you that how did you stay positive and cope with stress during the lockdown situation?
Lockdown.
Yeah. Because then
As you
you
already,
didn't have gym.
yeah, as you already
Yeah.
mentioned that I am an IELTS coach. So I started because IELTS was shut. There was we all felt like there is
Yeah.
no scope of teaching IELTS, and there were no enrollments. So I started taking personality development classes and spoken English classes. I started teaching kids. I was teaching fourth class, fifth class student who I've never taught. I've always taught the grown up ones, the plus two pass out students. So this is
Mhm.
how I passed my time. And I also started typing my own book. I
Mhm.
realized the first 10 days were really, initially it was very pathetic, because I was numb. Like I was failed to understand what shall I do. The gyms were shut.
Exactly.
We were not
Mhm.
allowed to step out from our house.
Mhm. I can't hear you.
My society is really strict. Was really strict at that time. So my mother, as she's a
Mhm.
guardian angel in my life, she suggested me that, beta, you should look for the things that you can do in spare time. Though she
Mhm.
insisted me to learn cooking, which I was totally against. She even
Mhm.
taught me making a halwa that time, that you got such free time
Mhm.
so that you can learn some dishes. But I
Mhm.
made a list and I planned out my things, that what I can do. As eyes
Mhm.
was shut, I started taking spoken English and personality development classes. I started taking 2 batches a day, and I used to do some cardio exercise like jumping jacks, high heel jumps at my own home,
Mhm.
at my own place, and I made my routine. Then I used to teach students. After that, I used to type my book, and then I used to spend some time with my parents, as there was Ramayan being telecasted over the
Wow.
TVs. Yeah, so we all enjoyed that. And I think that was the time when I used to sit a lot with my
Mhm.
brother. We both were free. We used to exchange our ideas and thoughts about our future planning, that how the things will work, and what the government do now, and how it gonna impact on our economy, on our business, on everything. We used to
Exactly.
listen the latest songs. So we used to exchange coffee cups in the evening, and we used to eat chips, and then again we used to exercise together. So I had spent good time with my family. I think it gave me a golden chance to know my family more closely, and it connected us, it strengthens the bond amongst us. And it got me a chance to type my book, and I published my book. So I think one should look for the brighter side of everything. There, although there is a darker side, but the
Mhm.
brighter side should outweigh the darker side, then you attain a victory over the
Exactly.
situation. Yeah.
Alright. So the whole COVID situation, I would like to share that everything on this earth comes with being a liability and being an asset, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, initially when COVID started, I was in my college phase. I had just entered first year of my college, and I was so much in love with going to college. I had my day planned, but
Mm.
I remember that I used to think that, you know what, I used to wake up at 6, I used to catch my bus, then I used to go to college, then I used to come back around 8 or 9 p.m. In the evening. And then I used to eat and sleep. I remember that I used to think that, I'm leaving my parents behind. I'm not giving them time, right? And I think COVID lockdown happened at very prominent time in my life, and that was much needed. I think firstly it got very lonely. Initially it got lonely, and as I was entering in my self introspection stage, right, that I sat with myself. I got to know a lot of things about me, that, this thing causes me pain, this thing bring me happiness, this thing bring me this and that, whatever, right? And a lot of people, a lot of my friends told me this thing, that, Varuni, this COVID situation, it has made us learn a lot, many things about ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
it happened for a great reason. Things which used to trigger us in the past, they don't trigger us anymore because we have healed. And let me tell you
Yeah.
one thing, this healing process, while you're gonna heal from something, it's gonna get lonely. Nobody's gonna be there. Nobody, trust me, nobody, right? And then when you're gonna heal yourself, you will see that एक बार वो situation बिल्कुल
Stronger version
stagnant,
of yourself. Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली, और एक बार वो सिचुएशन इतना स्टैग्नेंट रहेगा, एंड जब आपकी हीलिंग शुरू होएगी, यू विल सी द ग्रोथ फ्रॉम 0 to 10,
Yeah.
literally immediately. So, plus I would like to share this thing, that if anyone is going through any kind of mental illness, it's time to speak about it. You don't have to think that, this person is gonna think this of me, this person is gonna think this of me. And coming to people who are who believe that, don't wear this thing, that, ये मेरे बारे में ये सोचेगा, मैं कपड़े नहीं पहन सकता, मेरे बारे में ये सोचेगा. Get over it. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't hurt yourself. Just don't hurt anyone's feeling. And please, I would like to say that Instagram is fake. Snapchat is fake. Everything is fake. Don't compare your life to anyone. I have seen people doing like this comparison thing. Please don't compare your life to anyone. You have your own blessings. Work with them. Work for something you want to do in your life, and that's how you achieve it, right?
Yeah.
And uh conclusion of this topic is, please speak up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, please
Express
speak up.
yourself.
Exactly. Don't think, don't be in your own cocoon. Be in your own cocoon for a short period of time, then go out, explore, talk to people, talk to strangers. I would like to say that,
Yeah.
please talk to strangers. They'll be so helpful. They'll tell you something meaningful which is
Travel, explore.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Read good books. Definitely. Please go ahead, read good books. I started reading this one book, which I was telling her in the morning only, that the book name is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Please read that book. Watch good content, because whatever you're going to watch, and my dad always tells me one thing, that, whenever you have food on the table, when you have your plate on the table, close your eyes, pray, and
Thanks.
then eat
Yeah,
your food.
I do it
Exactly.
even today since my childhood.
Exactly.
Every
And
day.
then eat your food, because whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
consume with good thoughts, it's gonna be here. So that's
Yeah.
it. And
I
please
do it.
don't think, exactly, mental health is very important. You are very important to your parents, to yourself, to your family, to
And
anyone, to the world.
surround yourself with positive people. We humans are born with natural power, supernatural power. We can judge whether we are getting positive vibes or negative vibes from that person. Do not hesitate saying
Yeah.
that I am getting negative vibes from you. Do not
Mm.
hesitate, please, especially a girl who is getting any negative vibes from anyone. Just shut it
Mhm.
down and focus
Right
on the
away.
positive people, interacts with the positive people so that they can help you in the growing process.
All right.
Yeah.
So at the end, I would just like to say, be yourself and you are important. Also, thank you for watching Teen Talks with Varuni Sharma. This is Varuni Sharma signing off. Keep watching Teen Talks. We'll be coming up with next topic next Saturday. And like, comment, and share. Subscribe to channel. Thank you so much. This is Varuni
Love
Sharma signing
yourself. Thank you.
off.